welcome everybody to Plat Chat VALORANT episode 164. I am joined by Paula and special guest. Actually, Sliggy, that title, we've already made this discussion revoked. Not a guest, not special, you're regular like one of us. Standard Sliggy is here to stay. And special guest. Are you still? All right, hold on.
This
Actually,
is the thing.
Let me address the panel. No. Let me address the panel. Is TMV still a special guest? All of your thoughts?
You guys are all special guests to me.
That's a solid answer. I think we've done the same. I think me and TV have done like the same
this is the thing,
amount, right?
This is weird because I've never been on with you, but I've been on a lot of shows. I've been on quite a few shows, but I've never been on with Wyatt. So before now, there was rumors. Maybe I was just you with a wig. Like there was rumors out there.
I heard these rumors. Yeah.
To be fair, you guys are still not in the same room, so who knows?
I mean, it looks like we could be in the same apartment, though. If you really look at the walls, like the lighting's kind of like. Honestly, there's not much of a difference. I could be there in Gloucester right now, which is the only place
not
that I know
everyone
in the
lives
UK.
in Gloucester. You know that Brent is from Gloucester, and not everyone is from there.
Listen, I'm just shooters got to shoot. You know what I mean? I got to. But yeah, all right. How are things going, you guys? Are you ready to talk about Valorant? Oh wait, also, sorry, I'm gonna cut myself off. Doubleheader Plat Chat this week, if you can believe it. We're doing an episode today and an episode tomorrow, which is we've never done that before. I don't think, unless is that a lie or is that true?
I think it's a first.
I don't think we've ever done that before. So we're doing 2 episodes this week. We have Europe's finest today, and then Asia's finest tomorrow. We're talking about everything globally. We're talking about all of the Valorant going on everywhere. But
not China, but
well, all right. Kurt, work on this week's 3rd episode. I don't have anything to do. Put me on 3 episodes this week. All right. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? Paula, are you ready to talk about Valorant?
oh yes. Dude, America's power rankings went crazy last week. It's gonna go. Actually, there's really nothing. It's gonna be FNATIC, NAVI, and then Foot, and it's gonna be like let's
And then a scramble.
redo the episode, but like it's gonna be simple. But let's do it.
Yeah, I'm personally just shocked that Sliggy has decided to turn up and show his face in Josh's home territory, in Sideshow's own backyard, after he dropped a horrific, just awful takedown of everything that Sliggy is and will ever be. And I'm just shocked that you're here, Sliggy, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm recovering. Dude, it happened all so fast. That's the thing. There were rumors in my chat that there was like a diss track coming out, and then literally within 24 hours, it's just posted. Outrageous.
I haven't heard it.
Don't know what's happening.
Do you want to
actually
listen to
haven't
this track?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
You haven't heard it?
I don't know what.
I was out of the loop as well until this morning. I did not know any of this.
I can give you.
happened,
I'll give you a little
sudden-
backstory. Basically, we've been duoing, and there was one round that I decided to put on TikTok where he absolutely sent it in with Raze, and I'm just wondering like, what on earth is he doing? So I just clipped it. We put it on YouTube Shorts, put it on TikTok, and then he saw it, and he was furious. And then now this is what follows basically.
Do we want to watch this?
Yes.
Oh, you definitely want to watch this.
All right.
Absolutely.
Is this a
We definitely
try
wanna
not
watch
to
this.
cringe challenge, or is it actually good?
No,
It's
this is
actually good. Like,
it's good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I was. Yeah. All right. I was ready to cringe. Let's listen. What?
Sliggy, I've seen the YouTube short, you little fuckhead. And this is me and Brent coming back at you. You've thrown all my game, you slandered my name. You calling me out over TikTok fame. I'm gonna club this slug and fuck up your mug. Your strats are malformed like the face of a pug. Your VCT legacy is all but a smear. Time for someone to sage out your career. I'm the prototype, stole my whole scene. I'm the original, you're the knockoff co-stream. You got 8 chances, down from 10. I'ma write your will in epic pen. You come on Plat Chat, you can't get a word in. This beatdown will make you back to observe it. Chair streams, no cash, your survival's a gamble. Bald head, lush stash, here comes the egg scramble. All these bars was written by chat, just like how Bacon made every strat. My premier team, #1 in the scene. Coach Potatoes strat like Karmine Corp's Scream. You're hating on little buddy. Well, I'm bringing in mine. Bren, time to go. Spit a fucking
Your
lie.
teams all got battered. Fish and chips, 1, 2, 3. Your only good part is bacon, that's why they call you Piggy. Your strats are made by bacon, yet you can't even fry. This is Valorant, motherfucker. You get shot, you die. They got one chance to close this out. Sliggy, I'll give you one chance to close your whore mouth.
Oh my.
Don't be a twat. I think it's over. We've owned him, chat.
It is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's impressive.
That was ferocious. That was way better than way better than I thought
Dude,
that
I'm
was
telling
gonna
you,
be.
the turnaround,
Oh
the
my
24 hours.
God.
That's what they made.
It's over, bro.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's over.
Charged up. You gotta
People,
come on.
people
you
are
gotta,
asking me if I'm going to hit back, but it's like,
you're
what can you do
you're
after
gonna fire
that?
something back. You're just taking the loss.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it, bro. I don't know. Well done.
I don't know. You'll never recover the street credit if you can't fire back off that one. But that's kind of crazy.
true.
They came in, he got a feature on the diss track. That's fucked up. That's messed up. He got
Is
a
it really
feature
a
on it.
feature, bro? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a feature. He got,
That's
he
the
got
duo.
Brun on the
That's
hook.
okay.
Boy.
Brun was sounding kind of nice on that, to be honest.
I mean, he
he's been
sounded
listening to a
nice, but
lot of
bro
grind,
had
but-
no rhythm, bro.
No,
Like,
not
what
at
was he doing?
it was all in the vocal inflection. It was all in the tone. But that one bar where he ended with like "fry" or whatever that was, it's just like that stunned me. Yeah, Bren's got to work on the pen game, but he's got something in the voice for sure. All right, I'm glad that exists. I sold my computer on Craigslist, so I don't know what's going on anymore. So I'm glad someone informed me on that one. All right, Jesus Christ, let's talk about Europe. What are we starting off with here? This is such a ridiculous first lower third title. Why? Can we start with some positivity maybe one day? I don't want to be the hater show, but all right, let's get it started. Are BBL primed to be dead last in EMEA?
Damn, savage.
That's messed up. That's crazy.
It's such a come down from that diss track, and then we're straight into this as
Yeah.
well. Like, let's just flame these teams.
Everyone's getting it.
We gotta give Sliggy an outlet somewhere. I mean, like,
Yeah, just all the hatred I just take it out on all these other teams.
But to answer your
God.
question, like, I mean, kind of. Like, I don't have
Hey, you
much hope.
think?
I
Dead
my-
last.
Dead last is always hard because there are other teams in there that could be dead last, but like my problem with BBL, my main problem with them is that it's not like, in the Brazilian scene there's a lot of talk about recycled talent and how everyone's just, going back to the same well of players or whatever. The Turkish scene is not that. Like, other teams are picking up good young Turkish players. And like for BBL, it feels like BBL's scouting is like done by just one person is just watching Supermassive Blaze that went to 2021 Masters just on repeat and has just got their eyes like open to only that and nothing else exists because they keep bringing in players. And most of you probably didn't even remember that SMB went to Masters Berlin, the one that Gambit won. But they did, and they didn't really do much there. And basically BBL just keep bringing in players that they've had before and that was on that roster and it just keeps going. But you've got like Foot bringing in like Yetije, who looks really good in what we've seen so far. You've got Heretics bringing in Woot and Rienz as well. And Doomrose comes into my chat and says that Woot is the future of Valorant. So, seems like Doomrose probably knows what he's talking about. And so it's not like there's no Turkish talent that you could pick up. Kiwi is not on Foot. Like, we know that guy can play at a tier 1, high tier 1 level. Like, why is he not on your team? Like, what? There just seems to be a potential missed opportunity here, and I just don't trust this team.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I know that Heretics got the 2 Turkish players very early. I remember speaking like in the off season, and then Nil Zinu, their coach, was like, "Yep, already got our team sorted." Like 2 weeks after like champs or something. I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." So I think they kind of got in early, and then maybe BBL was scrambling. I have a bit of faith in this. I'm a bit of a poorer fan, to be honest. I feel like anyone that can kind of get removed from a team and then kind of prove themselves as a strong IGL, I think that's good. And he's always always been like he's messaged me a little bit and kind of like asked for some advice, and he's always just been really, really keen. So I think from that aspect, like IGL wise, I think I'm kind of excited for him to see what he can kind of cook up with a bit of time. Yeah, it is just it does always feel like BBL are going to be like the second best Turkish team in franchising, and I agree with TMV. There is so much talent in there. Like if you actually look at the Turkish like tier 2 tournaments and stuff, there is so many good players there. So yeah, I think maybe they could have cooked a little bit better, but I don't know. I have a small amount of belief that I think they at least won't come dead last. But I think
you know
be at the
why
bottom.
though, Sliggy? They're coming to you. It's because you suggested doing BO1s round robin, and they're thinking, well, we could just play Ascent every
We
map
can
in
just play Ascent
BO1s
non-stop,
and
yeah.
just win all of our games. But now they have to play BO3s, and so they're screwed.
And that's why I think it's going to be good with Pora, because they can branch out a little bit and maybe win some other maps that aren't Ascent. So yeah, I don't know. I have a little bit of faith, but not too much faith. I still think they're going at the bottom. But yeah, maybe they were just too late to actually getting their team together.
Maybe, but they also did. I mean, they did swap like Reezy, and I don't know much about this guy. I don't know almost anything. Elite
looks
as
good.
well. I watched Elite in the offseason, and he looked pretty decent. I think there's 3 players here who I think potentially could really, really be stars. And Kushner, like Elite, these types of players. I don't know anything about Reezy, but moving forward, like there's something to prove there, I think, for the young players on the team. And then Pora as well, Brave as well. These guys are experienced. Like they can. That's the sort of thing that I do like to see put around young players, especially like new leaders, not the same from last year, which I think is important too. The thing is, like, I think they're still going to have similar problems to last year if they don't change leadership like they have this year. So yeah, I think they're primed to be in that group, in that bucket. I think there's a big bucket here in the EMEA where there's teams that are going to be dead last, right? Like there's a bunch of teams here at the bottom of the EMEA who look like tier 2 teams, like straight up, like wouldn't be able to win Ascension. Yeah, maybe 3.
Who's the
Ooh.
bunch? Koi and
Koi, Heretics, BBL.
I have some faith in Heretics. I believe that Heretics could do okay. If like Heretics are going to be a weird team because it's such a young team that I think like they'll probably be like really good some weeks, but then just awful in others. Like, you know, be very inconsistent. That's what I feel like. But yeah, I mean, are they going to be like dead last? Maybe not. But I can't see this team making playoffs. Yeah, I can't see them make playoffs.
100%.
Oh yeah, playoffs now. That's extreme. I think. Yeah,
I think that's out of the question.
Yeah, I think that's hard. I think Razzies look good, at least in the off-season events. I think the main thing when it comes to all of these teams that are like bringing in up-and-coming talent, and again, it's not their fault. It's the fact that especially when you're looking at like Heretics BBL, when you kind of have like the unproven talent, you want to play as many games as possible, but this is not the season. Like, this is not the season for it. You want to try and get loads of reps under your belt, and then you just come in. You could potentially just play like 11 or 12 games only, and it's like, damn. So yeah, it's going to be a big make or break for the kind of up and coming players to see if they can capitalize on like the first 5 games, but also really.
Yep. And there's probably not even that in the kickoff tournament. There isn't even that in the kickoff tournament.
Or just one game, I guess.
It's crazy. The thing is about a lot of these teams that have a lot of young players, I completely agree with you. So they need experience in playing a lot of officials. And unfortunately, in the EMEA, that wasn't possible in the offseason. So, like, you can't see, you can't prove, you can't even feel out how you guys are going to work as a team throughout a season where you're going to play one match every single week type of thing. That's a grind that is not easy for young players to, I don't know, stay motivated throughout.
Yeah. Well, luckily, BBL will probably have an opportunity to play Koi in Group B and prove that they're not going to be in dead last. So that'll be a hotly contested game in the lower bracket of Group B coming up. Surely we'll all be tuned into that on the edge of our seats. Let's talk about, I mean, we're swinging to the opposite end. From BBL to FNATIC. They've kept their roster for 2024. Mini was exploring his options and then ended up coming back as an assistant coach after mulling things over, and they brought in El Mapuddy to be the head coach.
I think what happened was Mini got wind of the sideshow diss track against Sliggy, and he decided to disassociate from Couch
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Gotta get out of there as fast as possible.
But the thing is, Fnatic are basically like, BBL aren't the most, entertaining team to talk about, but neither are Fnatic, because it's just like, what do you say? Like, yeah, they're gonna be good. Obviously, everyone knows that. Like, there's nothing really to say about them. Like, to me, it's more interesting to envision, like, what would have to go wrong for this team to not make, like, Masters Madrid or Shanghai? Like, what could even happen? COVID?
Yeah, that is their biggest downfall. Yeah, that's the thing as well. I was like Sky nerf. I was like, that might give some teams some like a bit of cope and be like, oh yeah, actually Fnatic get a big nerf. But honestly, they kind of played on 2 maps only, so it doesn't affect them like too much. And they've kind of been proven to be one of the best in terms of just creating stuff, and normally who most teams just copy. So yeah, they don't have much of a weakness. They should just dominate EMEA.
I would say they were probably one of the teams that relied the least on like double controller type thing throughout the entire season last year, which is interesting given the fact that they were the best.
Yeah, I think that's probably when they looked their weakest. Maybe it was when they were using Sky, like when they kind of realized, damn, we got to use Sky in this one. So,
but even then, Leo's still the fucking goat. Like, it's just like any of those split games where he was playing Sky, just like he was so good still. So I don't know. For me, there's nothing to fear. There's no doubts. There's no fears. Like, you might think about like Elma Buddy being the head coach for this team, maybe screwing things up, but like, nah, there's really no doubts.
If that happened, there would be an investigation into that. Like, you've got Mini back as the assistant and Boaster as your IGL, who's probably running a lot of the things. Like, what would he have to be telling them for this team to like be back? Like, it would be unbelievable to see like what he would say to make this team not be good or something. The only thing I will say, and we'll get to this maybe at the end of the show when we do our predictions and stuff, is obviously it is single elim in the playoffs for the kickoff. It might be possible that a team could beat them in a one-off and they don't go to Masters Madrid. If they played a NAVI in the game to make it, and just one game single elim, that's really the only way I can see something going wrong. That they just have a one-off bad day, like against Team Liquid in the EMEA final last year, and that they don't make it because of the format.
Yeah,
well, I don't think that's possible, to be honest.
Oh my god! Okay.
Yeah, sure, they might have like a hard game, but like this is a team that when they get time to just work on something, bro, like they're gonna come out and just like absolutely have everything prepared, every single protocol written, every single like ults combination thought of. Like it's really not a concern. I think this team is going to be the best in the EMEA, and it's not even close. I think it's just a matter of how many titles they're going to win this year, and it's that simple.
How many is that going to be, Ball?
Hopefully 2.
Hopefully.
Right. Interesting. Listen, I'm just I'm trying to get some early thoughts out there. You guys agree with that? TMV, Sliggy?
2 stuff. Like they should easily make every event, like we're saying, but like once you get there, but then it's tough because like there's only really Paper Rex from last year that are like the same team, and like you can be confident probably that are like
no, but they're not though. Like,
well, that's a good point actually. Yeah, they aren't.
There's no team that is the same
true. There
as
is
last
no
year.
Team. Yeah, there is
not
no...
even DRX. The fucking kings of being the same forever are the same. Like
that's true. Yeah, 2. Give them 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board. I think if they did 2, maybe this year should be harder for them, but just because of like everything's a bit squished together. But yeah, I think 2. It might actually, dude. There's a definite chance it could have a repeat of last year where they get the first 2 and then they're so like they've shown everything before champs that they could just fall at the final hurdle again. So 2 could be a thing, but I don't know. I think NRG. I think NRG are looking strong, so I think NRG should be able to give them a run at some of these events, maybe even EGG if they get some time off. So, yeah, I think it should be harder than last year for them to get 2, but it's definitely they should be aiming for that, around that, in my mind.
All right, let's keep it moving. my favorite team.
There's why you don't
What?
even know, but there's like a little bit of lag with you sometimes. It looked like at the end of Sliggy's point you were sleeping. And then it took like
Oh.
5 seconds for you
Wait,
to
you guys
fucking
caught that?
say.
Oh, shit. I was my bad. Foot. Are Foot the dark horse of the entire VCT? I mean, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Yes. Anyway,
Okay, moving on.
and GIANTX becomes Redgar's new home. No, genuinely though, Foot pretty goddamn impressive in this offseason. I think they've got actually, hold on. I'm not going to say it, but we're doing the bold predictions later. Not going to say it, but I think I just spoiled one of mine because I just was about to say it. And then I said, never mind, let me not say it. But that's fine. Baller, take it away. Talk about your foot fetish.
Dude, I love. Wait, what am I talking about? The dark horse of the entire VCT is, I don't know, that's kind of. This is a team that hasn't really had international success yet, and I'm still waiting for that. I think this year is the year for them to have some success, but you're talking like getting grouped constantly to like, top 3 finish. I don't think that's really that plausible, but I'm really excited for this team because CNED to me has proved his last year. A lot of people might have been hating on him on Navi, but I saw a tremendous growth in CNED, both like how he holds himself on LAN with his team and how he's like involved in the gameplay and whatever, and also just individually trying to flex, trying to do all these things, trying to be a good teammate. And I think that experience is going to be something that is invaluable for Foot here this year. On top of that, brand new Sentinel player Yetujaju is insanely good. This team should be able to attain what they did last year, if not better. And it should be better.
I think it's still. I will go with the point that I think that this year is harder for them just because EMEA kind of leveled up. At least the middle teams leveled up a little bit. So if I was them, if I achieved the same thing that I did last year, that I would be pretty happy. But yeah, I do think they're better. I think the fact we get to see CNED in like an actual Turkish-speaking team should be really cool. We haven't really seen that. So that should be like really, really good. And then you got to talk about the fact that the Sky gets nerfed, and it's like the one agent that they never use, and they always use KO. Like they are so prepped and ready for this nerf. It's insane. It's like they prepped all of last year for literally this nerf for this moment. So like they should be shining. They are the one team that comes out massively on top from the patch change that happened last week, and the fact that there's only 3 weeks for these other teams to catch up, and they're pretty much there. Of just a full map pool, and they just have set protocols, and they know the best KO util. And Krax has just been this is Krax's moment, man. He's been playing this agent just constantly for 2 years. Like this is the time for them. So yeah, I'm expecting a big heavy start at the beginning of the year from them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sliggy, really quick though, you said that there's some other teams in that middle level that have upgraded that could be in contention with them. Who are you referring to there, out of curiosity? Because I'm assuming in the very traditional sense, we're just going, FNATIC, excuse me, Navi at the top, and then who's really around there with Foot? Because I kind of feel like they're, I mean, Vitality. I suppose Vitality and Foot, is that just like the next tier of two? Because past that,
I have a heavy group. So if we're going off the Bala bucket list, you have like what FNATIC and Navi. Pretty much.
I would say it's FNATIC.
Probably FNATIC in their own little bucket.
Navi,
yeah. Then it's like Navi maybe in that other one, but I could probably group them with Foot, Giants, K-Corp are going to be good.
Oh.
Liquid, Vitality. That's my huge
we'll get to
middle
that.
bucket.
I would say that's where EMEA is interesting, right? You got FNATIC at the top, you got some of these teams at the bottom, but then you've got this like middle sector that maybe Navi are a bit better than, but maybe they're not. And like, I think that's where EMEA will be interesting to see. Like, and the qualifications for the international event should be pretty interesting because of that. Because there's kind of this big like section of teams that are kind of about the same. And I agree with you. So Karmine Corp, I'll have to see. Maybe that's from just last year. Just like the name. I know they got a completely different team, but just the name just doesn't shout success in Valorant. From what I've seen,
to forget some of the stuff you've seen.
Yeah, you said that, and but I suppose you could be right. Which,
well, he's right.
It just doesn't feel right.
He's right.
Yeah, it has to be.
You have to remember why. Like last year, this is not Karmine Corp, but
I don't
last year,
want to remember. Don't tell me I have to. I want to forget.
Last
those
year,
those are
EMEA
memories I don't need.
well, why? You'll appreciate this. Last year, EMEA was dog shit. Like, let's be real here. Like, EMEA was their worst year. A region that, in my mind, still is probably like the best in Valorant. They should be. Last year, they had a horrible year, and I think it's because franchising forced a lot of teams to put together just rushed rosters that was filled with like just nepotism and like friendly relationships and whatever, like getting signed on teams. Karmine Corp being a very grand example of that, where these teams just didn't work. Like Koi should have been a roster that everybody was excited about. They weren't like that. There was only like 3 teams in the EMEA last year. And this year, I think we fixed all that. Hopefully, I mean, that way I might
totally
actually watch
agree.
this region this year.
We canceled nepotism. It's over for nepotism, finally.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I do agree with you, Bala. Sorry, Wyatt. That,
no,
like,
go.
if you look at all the changes that every EMEA team has made this year, it's tough to look at any one team and be like, oh, what the hell are they doing? Right? Or like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Right? Like, in the other regions, you can look at 1 or 2 teams and be like, what are you doing? But like teams that needed like a full restart, like Karmine Corp, went for a full restart. Teams who, you know, just wanted to keep a couple pieces and maybe 1 or 2 changes did that. Like, I think that for the most part, EMEA, the roster building and construction, and there was a lot of tier 2 players that have come now up into tier 1. You know, those best tier 2 players that there has been quite a bit of movement. I think I counted, if you include General Mates, it's like 23 players, I think, have come up from tier 2 last year into, you know, which is quite a lot, really. And so, yeah, I think that EMEA finally watchable, and you know, Plat Chat is probably the biggest culprit of this, of besmirching EMEA. Yes, you Wyatt, and even Brennan Taicho, people who were born on these fair lands, have gone away and decided to
Traitors.
join you. Yeah, traitors, absolute traitors.
Hey, I'm not included in this. You didn't say
No,
my name.
Bala-
I'm chilling. I'm vibing.
Ball is the other way. Ball is turned out the other way.
Listen, we used to do, man, if you take us really back to 2020, we were doing some slurping for EMEA. I mean, we were week after week just who was, I mean, we were talking about what was that
FPX.
dude who was cheating? Nisao. We were talking about him every week and all those guys. God, what a time to be alive. I mean, there was so much hype for Europe at the time. And then what happened? It was the first time in a long series of us just egg on our face getting something totally wrong, where we went into Iceland and we were all like, FNATIC are gonna win, EMEA is the best region by far, first game, Liquid, wait, Slinky, you were with Liquid at the time.
Yeah, be careful.
You guys lost to America. You lost to America.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. To be fair, we got wrecked because we're like a big anti-strat team, and they changed everything. Imi just decided to change it all up, and then I was lost, man. We literally we came into the agent select. Go to agent select. I'm there. I look at their team. I'm like, oh man.
God, yeah, man. You changed up a lot. You changed up the trajectory of the show in my career. It fell off because we were wrong about everything.
Dude, that season was such a fluke. The teams who qualified, sorry, Slinky, but the teams who qualified for Reykjavik,
The diss track continues.
Oh my God. Dude,
What?
this is about-
FNATIC and
EMEA.
Liquid, like, yeah. Dude,
We were
it
the
was like-
best in the EMEA, us two.
Yeah, I
Who
guess so.
should have gone in? Give me
I
a
don't
name.
remember, man.
Exactly, come off it.
Gambit, bro.
No, they weren't.
Well, I
They
don't
weren't.
know.
They weren't.
They were so
Gambit
good.
yet.
Bro, they only made it to Berlin as well because we messed up in overtime. I don't know. Back then,
No, Gambit. They weren't
I'm
ready
loving it.
then. They weren't ready yet. But that's
yeah,
fine. Ball,
not for Iceland.
you know, you're catching a stray on the reply. you're catching a little stray shot on the
I
track.
don't remember
on the
who
track
teams
that's coming.
like fucking Ascend. Like I don't even remember what teams.
I don't think they were around.
I
I don't think the org was born yet.
They
Yeah.
won. They won the tournament before, and then they choked out. That was what
What?
happened.
you
Yeah,
talking
they
about
won
second
Masters
Iceland?
1. No, first Iceland.
No, first.
Are you guys serious? Okay, dude,
We're not deep diving Ascend for 40 minutes.
Yeah, but
I refuse. But actually, I'm gonna
It's
look it up.
relevant. See,
I
that was-
lied.
That's where their coach was calling as well.
Wait.
Let's relax. Let's all relax.
what that was happening?
The first year of EMEA was
Don't
just
act like you weren't
messed
involved
up.
in all that shit, Toosley.
Bro, I'm a rule. I'll stick by the rules. I'm
You were
in
calling
it.
for Scream?
That's what actually happened. Yeah, dude, TMV's had enough.
What
Man.
is
What's he
doing?
doing?
What is
Is he getting the
doing, bro?
jersey on?
Oh,
Okay.
he is the second.
Brilliant.
Wait, hold on. This is a deep. Hold on. I don't know.
Wait, what is
We just
happening?
all getting
he doing?
jerseys.
What is happening?
We just all
Yeah,
grabbing
I-
jerseys.
I remember when Ascend got mistaken for Wyatt's org, wasn't it? On one of the like.
Oh, that was fucking awesome. That was one of that genuinely, yeah. Because the deep cut is, yeah. I had I was running an org for a while, and like, God, I can't even remember how many years ago now. It's like maybe 2017 to 2019 or so. That was in like tier 2 CS and like TF2 and shit. And so they on what was it for Champions when they did one of the
think
intro
so, yeah.
videos?
Yeah.
They used my org's logo instead of the
Ascend.
Ascend logo. Truly one of the greatest moments of my life. That was like that was the long con payoff for me working on that project for years, only to run into the brick wall of VC money and all hope to be drained from my body. But also, I was just gonna say, I might be the only person on the planet who owns this, and I can't remember. I know I did this for a bit at some point. Now you may be wondering, why does he have this? Why does he have a Liquid jersey that is a Slitty? I can't remember what
You're the
bit
one guy
was.
that bought it.
I know. You got they gave me the analytics. There was one purchase.
You got one fan out there. We don't know who he is, but
I can't remember. It was something for a co-stream. I can't remember what I was doing. It was so long ago. Anyway,
that's incredible.
let's
Honestly,
talk
thank
about.
you.
Great talk about foot there.
I like to imagine that I was a part of the reason you got re-signed as a content creator. They saw the real dollars that you were bringing into the organization. And
that's true.
had to end up bringing you
That's
back
actually
in the fold. But all right, let's talk about Nisau's career. Where is he at these days? No, what team is next? I'm over this historical deep dive. All right, well, we're gonna talk about some more. Oh wait, no, we're not talking about old players. We're talking about GIANTX. I thought I'm lost on the thing. I was about to talk about Angel. He's old, but we're gonna talk about GIANTX instead. It's gonna be like a history old tie-in. It didn't happen. We're talking about GIANTX. Redgar, he lives there now. It's his new home. TMV, your thoughts?
Oh, I'm so happy. This was my favorite move of the entire offseason because
Really?
yes, here's why. It's not for the reason that you think.
Favorite of all the moves in
Yes.
all the regions. This
Yes,
is it.
because here's the
Okay.
thing. Again, when people were saying that EMEA was boring last year, I didn't like that because I like EMEA and I'm from there. But then they would say, well, what about Giants? And I'd be like, yeah, they are good, but they are boring. They bored me so much last year. Not because they're bad, not because of anything like that, but just because they just played like if they were meant to beat a team, they would beat them. And if they were meant to lose to a team, they would lose to them. And that's not very interesting at all for a team to be like that, because you know, like, oh, well, Giants are playing Koi, they're going to win. Oh, Giants are playing Navi, they're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. Almost every single game. If you go on Giants' record from last year, there's only one game that you might say, like, oh, they lost when they should have won. And that was against Heretics. They lost one game against Heretics. If you look at every other result, you know, there's some games where it's like, oh, they're playing Liquid, you know, kind of the similar level team maybe, or they're playing Foot, you know, they beat Foot sometimes, they lose to Foot sometimes. Everything else, other than that Navi, don't go on that Giants Navi game, because that was the troll game that didn't matter. And
seeding game.
Yeah, none of that mattered. So don't include that game. But everything else, you look at their record, and it's like, oh, they're boring. And that's why this team needed Redgar, because Redgar does crazy fucking shit. And who knows what's going to happen. So he adds spice to the team. And that's why it's the most important move of the offseason, because a team that I thought was very boring has now got this man leading the way. And who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Honestly, I'm with you. You're saying, TV, I'm going to keep it real. you're saying some real shit on this episode. When you also said that whatever you said about FNATIC, and I can't listen. I'm gonna paraphrase, so this is gonna be so wrong. But when you said something about like them just being boring because they're really good, that resonated with my soul. Good teams are so fucking boring. Like, be mid and weird. I love that.
What are you guys talking about? What the fuck?
I don't know.
Boring in a
Best
different
teams are
way.
so
It's boring
much
to
fun
do
to watch.
power rankings for. You know?
Exactly, but still, yeah.
Okay,
And there's some
sure.
teams that are boring bad, you know, like Koi, and there's some teams that are entertaining bad, like Karmine
Right.
Corp, right? Like you can
Right.
be.
So this was the best
Right.
move of the offseason because they make Giants from average top
Stable,
4
good
team
team.
to a Karmine Corp. Is that what you're telling?
No, don't put that disrespect on Redgar's name. How dare you? You're the Gambit fan.
Yeah, I am, and you know
Was.
what ruined it for me is Redgar trolling, bro.
Whoa.
This guy, man. I love the guy, but come on, he's been just going downhill with his IGLing and his gameplay ever since Gambit started going downhill too. Last year was a disaster for him, and this year. Hopefully it's not, but I think it relies on, I think Giants and their performance relies on whether or not Redgar is actually going to be able to differentiate himself from the rest of his team just saving his ass, because I think that's what we're looking at right now. I think you're going to have fantastic players, Fatinho, Nuki, Cloud, all these guys are fantastic, very smart, and they're going to bail his ass out many, 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 many times. And if that's the case, they're going to be mid.
It's hard to argue with that. Dude, Champs always sticks in my mind. That liquid performance, Champs, it was just like, because I didn't really know where to place Redgar, because again, it's hard when they've been on like one team, and then when it came to Champs and it was liquid against like Loud and the Wolves were coming up, we see no flashes. I'm there just losing my mind, thinking the simple call, man. You have a Sky, you're on Haven, you just flash through the walls. Like we should be seeing this. So yeah, I'm on board where it's like the Redgar stocks fell heavy last year. So this is potential redemption. I would be down to watch him on Omen again because it is crazy
see?
fun.
Now you're
crazy
speaking,
fun.
yeah.
So some of the best casting is one in the Redgar. That bit from Sideshow
Yes.
is like the best thing ever. So yeah, we'll see. Dude, it's a solid team though. Like this is one of those teams that is like, I agree with TMV. Like they probably should have had upsets at some point. Like they probably could have, but I don't know. They need an extra. They needed an extra piece.
I need an extra Omen TP into the
Yeah, they
spawn.
need an extra Omen TP to either have an upset or completely get wrecked.
The thing is, this team, bro. Sorry, Wyatt. I don't care. I'm the teacher.
I'm raising. I have a question.
This is the thing. This team is gonna watch Redgar TP in, and they're gonna be like Sliggy in the Sideshow TikTok clip. Like they're just gonna watch him. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is he doing?" That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, they're too buttoned up. Everybody else.
Okay, I had a question, and I'm gonna ask it because it's my turn. Why did they? What happened? I don't know what happened. What's the
Rhyme
correct
retired.
Rhyme? Oh, he just
Right.
retired.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to
That's
school.
it.
He's doing
Okay.
education.
Got you. All right. I needed the context on that. Also, God, you remind me of another clip I saw of Josh where it was one on Icebox where I think it was your Cypher trip killed someone, Sliggy, or something like that.
that was
Yeah.
wild. Yeah,
That
he whiffed
is-
like 30 bullets, right?
Yeah,
It sounded like it. I didn't see
if
the
you-
POV.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the desire or will to find that clip, or you know what? I'll find it.
What?
This is what this episode is. We start with the Sliggy diss track, and then
Yeah,
we
this
just
is-
go for the
this is
rest
how
of
we-
Sideshow clips.
This is how we get him back. It's just 2 hours
Oh,
of us
yeah,
just
no.
going through his stream, just nitpicking every little
We
mistake.
can fire back on him. Like for instance, here I'll fire a shot. TMV, you said earlier. This is just off the rails. TMV, remember when you said earlier something about like who remembers that Supermassive Blaze went to like Berlin?
Yeah.
I remember because Josh put like 4 of their players in his top 20 for that event, and then they just bombed out. So listen, Sliggy, I'm on your side here. I'm firing back at Wilkinson for you. All right, let's keep it pushing. Finally, a reasonable team to talk about. Karmine Corp have completely revamped their roster, and they have many duelists. I mean, it's a totally new team that we're looking at here. I'm super interested to see what Narrate does. He was so good in Tier 2 NA. Clearly had, to me, watching him, he was one of the players that has a ton of raw potential and needs the right surroundings to be molded into a top-tier player. Will Karmine Corp provide that? That is the question that I have in my mind. And then surrounding him is essentially an entirely new team outside of Shin, who was definitely showing some good moments previously last year. And then they brought in Magnum, Tamazi, Martine, and Aang, who was with not playing, but rather coaching in NA, and is now back to EU head coach position here, which seems kind of deserved. It was very odd to see him floating around for such a long time, just kind of taking what he could get and not being, I guess, regarded from those in the hiring positions as a high enough prospect as he should be, in my opinion. So it's a very interesting entire squad that they've put together here. Sliggy, you put them in that middle tier where you had them in the fray with the Foots and the GIANTXs of the world.
Yeah.
Give me the breakdown.
I'm actually a little bit pumped. This in my mind is the dark horse. This is the one for sure, and they have a lot of good players. There's 2 question marks for me: Magnum, IGL. I have no idea how that's going to be. Tamazi apparently playing Sentinel. I have no idea how that one's going to be. But everything else, in terms of like the actual pieces that have been put together, I think they're really good. I'm glad Shin got another go at it. I think it's hard to kind of base anything around from what we saw from the first K Corp. So I think that giving him a second try is going to be really nice. Martine is like, he's the guy out of all of the tier 2s that have come up. He's the guy that I'm the most excited about. I think this guy is legit. He's going to be your main duelist from what I've heard, and Narrate's kind of going to do more of a flex. And yeah, this is the guy to watch for me in terms of Martine. And then I just think that Narrate, I've heard a lot of good things. I've watched some, but I can't, honestly, it was so long ago that I actually can't like fully remember. But his stats kind of speak for himself. But I think this is a stacked roster. And then Aang as well, dude. Aang's got to be good. Like he has to be good from in terms of like just how drilled Gambit were, and then maybe seeing like some of the liquid stuff when you take Redgar out of that equation. You'd have to probably assume that a good amount of it was Aang. So I feel like all of these pieces coming together has crazy potential. This is the one team where I'm just like really high highs, really low lows. I think I'm the most excited to watch them. I really do. But yeah, Magnum IGL, I just have no idea. He needs to be learning a lot. It's a real big new role for him. But yeah, I'm really excited for this team. I think they can do a lot of damage. Like I really do. I think they could. If everything went really well, I could see them making champs. Like I could see them being a top 4 team in EMEA.
Hey, man. I'm all for that. I don't know why I'm excited for this team, but I'm very excited for this team. Like I've watched a few of the new players, Tamazi in particular. Dude has impressed the crap out of me last season throughout the Ascension run and all that. And just Aang. I think the thing with the Magnum point, Slicky, the inexperienced IGL, whatnot. I think when it's such a new project, when it's so many different pieces coming together, I think that helps a lot. And when you have a coach like Aang really like structuring everything, making sure the practices run smoothly, I think it's really easy to get buy-in from every single one of your players. As long as there's no massive ego, everybody's going to step in to try to help him do the best that he can. And to me, I'm likening it to like the bomb car situation over on Oxygen right now. Where every player is just buying into the entire system, and no matter what happens, like everybody feels like they're contributing to the IGL and the game plan, all of it. Like they're strict about that, right? They're not trying to look good for themselves or anything like that. And I think if they manage to get that working and ignore everything else, I think this team could really do some damage.
Yeah, I had some thoughts about Karmine Corp, but I honestly just got kind of lost looking at Aang's picture again in that Gambit jacket. Like that jacket is so sick. I mean, I really hope he just brings it out just in that jacket again, because I remember in particular there was one Masters where he had kind of like his slicked back hair with that jacket, and he just looked like a kind of Bond villain walking out there, and I was like, that's fucking sick. And I just hope that like those jackets were so good. Like every team needs one of those Gambit jackets, and oh my god, unbelievable. Bring it. Oh, look at that. It's just so nice.
What
Anyway,
are you talking about?
don't you? This is like, because I didn't get into Valorant straight away. I got into Valorant like
For the fashion?
For the jacket.
not for the fashion, no.
Oh.
Not for the fashion, but I got into Valorant like just before Masters Reykjavik, and that's when I first really started getting into it. And then watching the first Masters Berlin, and I didn't know everything about the teams or whatever. And I'm watching this, this team come out who like just look, they're so good, and they're like, that's what was so good about Gambit. They were so good, but they kind of looked cool whilst doing it. And yeah, I just got lost. Anyway, Karmine Corp, yeah, they'll be good.
True. Me personally, I'm a fan of Magnum's picture on VLR. That's my favorite. I feel like we've shown that before. I can't remember. Yeah, that one. Bala, do you have any deep and intricate thoughts here on Karmine Corp that you'd like to let the world know about?
The jackets?
But have good jackets as well, by the way.
About anything, really. I mean, this is your platform to speak on.
I mean,
What would you like to say?
yeah, I mean, I
This is how you're using your biggest esports podcast platform in the world? That's what you're gonna say?
use it every week, Wyatt, to push
Wow,
narratives.
you don't appreciate what you've got, huh?
Like,
Crazy.
you give me,
All right,
yeah, I
let's
don't know,
get-
man. You put me on the platform and just let me off to raw. I don't know. I just spoke about Karmine Corp.
Okay, I was just wondering if you had any wrap-up thoughts before we move on here. The Navi.
My head is empty, Wyatt.
Okay.
We
still
just
loading.
Give it a
we
rest.
could talk about
Give it a
jackets,
break.
bro. Like, I'm
Let's move on.
overheating over here.
Let's move on to Navi. They have emerged. I love this. Navi emerged with a familiar. Where have they emerged from?
The reason I changed
have
it
a-
last minute is because I had it like bounce back with familiar roster, but the koi also says bounce back. So I just switched it to emerge.
Jesus, that's I like that. All right, Navi, Artis, he's back. CNET, he's gone. We talked about it ad nauseum, and let's beat this narrative to a pulp one last time. Will Artis stop them from being silly? Sliggy, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, he should. Doom Bros was in my chat the other day, and he said he does it with a bro counter. If Artist says, like, if they're talking about comps and he says over 10 bros, then they know that the comp's a bit too wild and they just scrap it. So there is a counter in place monitoring his bros. But yeah, I think he will kind of just say, like, guys, what the hell are you doing? But I also think that Yoru is really strong at the moment, so this team could kind of cook a little bit. They definitely like Yoru, and I think it's really, really strong in this meta. So I'm excited. They'll
But
definitely
the Angel playing it is the problem.
But that's better than him on. That's better than him on Smokes. I think him on Omen. Like, at least with your Yoru, you can have the first deaths. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm more excited than I was last year for them. I guess it's just like my summary. Like, they're around the top 2. You probably should expect them to come like second, but I'd also be a little bit scared if I was this team because there's a lot of teams that can upset them. Yeah, they're going to look better than last year. That's where I'm at. But I think they might try some mad stuff, even though they do have artists to say no, just because the meta is like relatively open at the moment to cook, and Angel likes doing that.
Yeah, I think was Shao playing Smokes in the off-season tournaments, I think.
I think that's right, yeah.
So I think they're probably going to go Shao on Smokes now, which is quite an interesting change. I mean, let's see what Angel can cook up on initiators. How can he die first on those? What's he gonna do next? But yeah, that'll be an interesting change. I think for me, Navi, the EMEA league would be best if like Navi could get to FNATIC's level. Like, then it would be like, like really interesting to see if they could get to that level. I just don't know if that's within them. I don't quite know if they'll quite be there. They're kind of in a weird spot where you expect them to qualify for everything, and if they don't, it's a massive disappointment. But they're like not good enough to like guarantee that you're easily good enough to definitely go, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of pressure on them, but also I'm not quite sure if they're definitely good enough to be like, oh, we definitely will qualify, don't even worry about it, kind of like FNATIC are.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should be, by all means. I think last year was really weird for them because to me, when they started at lock-in, like they were slightly under like the Fnatic that we ended up seeing level. Like they were so good at lock-in, and then EMEA started and they started trolling all over the place. It just like forget about like all the first deaths for Angel and the comps that they were playing and stuff like that. Like maybe that's all symptoms of something else, because to me it just felt like there was the vibe was off at some point, when especially after they got knocked out, they got grouped at Tokyo to EDG and all that. Like it was wrong. And I think Artist probably is the answer to bring back whatever was missing last year in terms of maybe the team environment, the vibes, whatever. Because I think Team Head was not a good fit for them. Like I just don't believe that happy-go-lucky CNET is the guy that, you know, can thrive in the environment of Angel and Shao and Zippon and Sugetsu just like dishing shit at each other and like being super serious about some stuff at some points. I think that's the thing that I'm looking at this year. I'm not so much looking at Angel switching his ways, because he's never going to. Like, let's be real. It's been 4 years of this, 3 years of this dude doing the same sort of stuff over and over and over, and comps constantly going crazy. For me, the concern is I just don't think that this team is like individually at the level of Fnatic, and I don't think that strategically they're at the level of Fnatic either. So like, yeah, they'll probably be ahead of everybody in EMEA, but there's the ceiling I think we've seen for almost every single player for the team. Like, we've seen this team before, we've seen the ceiling, and I think Fnatic is far above it. So
I don't know. I feel like if Shao, Sugetsu, Zipan are all playing at their best, like
even then, can you really make the argument that
I think if all of those
like,
players are playing at their best, they can beat anyone on any given day, anytime, any place.
you think they can, bruh? Like,
Did you watch Shao and Sugetsu when they were popping off?
They're fucking insane. But the thing is, like, you still got Chronicle and Leo on the other team. You still got Dirk and Alfier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I feel like
those guys are good, but Fnatic is just better.
Peak, their absolute peak, I think can compete, and I wouldn't be shocked if like all of Navi's players were playing at their absolute best.
But so what? Like, that shit doesn't even come out like ever. Number one, and number two, like let's do the same thing for Fnatic. The absolute peak of Chronicle, of Leo, of Durka, of Alfier is like the argument just goes both ways at that point.
Now feel free to tell me that I am, but am I smoking crack for remembering that that Navi had Shao, Sugetsu, and someone else going crazy at Champions, I want to say, in the group stage, and they lost? Am I wrong? I feel like
they were playing well.
Didn't that happen?
They played well.
I mean, they should have gone through the groups. They kind of
They had a rough group.
yeah.
It was also just like
they
a
lost some games
crazy
at the end.
What am I
unlucky
thinking of?
final map. Like, where Loud
Yeah,
just
they lost to Loud, and
Yeah.
they were
Oh,
ahead.
and
on
it was
some
against
bullshit.
it was against DRX too, where
that
Shao
was
and
an insane
Sugetsu were
game.
going crazy, but they lost.
Shao and
But
Sugetsu had a good year, like overall, like their years were.
I mean, they
Sugetsu
tried
maybe
their
not so much,
best.
but Shao was insane at Tokyo when they were losing. Like, the dude was still trying to carry them through. I think he hit his peak plenty of times.
so is it a disappointment if this team they reform from they reform from the team that was able to the team that was able to win Copenhagen? Excuse me. Is it a disappointment if they can't get back to that form?
I don't think we'll ever say it is that form because everyone else just got better. That's the issue. Like, they could get to that form, and I still think that like the teams got better from there, so it will be harder. So
Yeah,
I think we would probably never make the comparison, but I think if they go back to that form, that they can do good. But I don't know. I still think they could win an event, but it would have to be like TMV saying that they're all playing like their top, and we get to see like Sugetsu, Cypher, Masterclass come back. And maybe some of the other teams have to like drop the ball a little bit.
COVID for Fnatic.
Yeah, but it's still a good meta, and the change in my eyes like benefits like 2 teams. Well, it kind of benefits 3 teams heavy in EMEA, and that's Fnatic, Navi, and FUT. So I think they're still in that group to kind of have like a really good start.
I think it'll be interesting. Oh, sorry, bro. You go.
I also think that, like, just meta-wise, like, this is the team to take advantage of it right now. Nobody knows what the fuck is going to happen. Like, we don't know if Gecko's going to be fantastic. Probably is. We don't know how, like, all the Yoru stuff is going to fit into this meta with all the jet nerfs and Raise nerves and blah 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 blah. Like there's plenty of things that we just don't really know. We don't know how it's going to match up against each other either. So like who's going to come on top of the meta? I think it's a fair argument to say Navi probably will at some point during the season.
You say that, and the thing that pops into my head immediately is the most Navi thing possible would be to play Yoru and Gecko while they suck, then stop playing them while they're good, and they come into this season playing Deadlock and ISO while they suck, and then next year they're gonna be buffed, and then they're gonna play the next new shit like that. It's just I can see it. I can see it happening already.
The thing that I'm wondering though is will they? Because Angel said like during last year, during the EMEA season, like when they were playing all the weird comps, is like. Yeah, why wouldn't we play weird comps now, right? We've got like 9 games to play, you know, like if we lose a couple at the start, like, you know, it doesn't matter that much, you know, and we'll find what works and then we'll win in playoffs. But obviously this year there's only 5 games, right? So you can't really afford to just be like, oh, we'll take 3 weeks to try some batshit comps.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have to from week 1, you're gonna have to be trying it straight away. So it'll be interesting to see
on
what
top
they
of
do.
that too, like that was last year with the conditions of dog shitty EMEA entire league. Like we just saw lock-in basically when they started that league, and all the EMEA teams looked horrible except for Navi and FNATIC.
And they had the safety net of FNATIC winning every event, so like more EMEA teams could come to the next event as well.
Very
so
true, which they took full advantage of, by the way, by the end.
There's none of those safety nets this year, so yeah, they kind of have to come out swinging. I agree.
All right, Team Heretics. This is another one. These lower Kurt went wild with these lower thirds, and I'm gonna need a breakdown of what this means. Team Heretics transform into Zoomers. They didn't just sign them. They didn't just provide them with contracts and receive signatures back. They literally underwent a transformation into their younger selves. There's a new roster. That's crazy. Yeah, very different roster. And listen, I mean, I guess can you say? I guess Benji Fish. You can't say he's a new addition, but he's basically a new addition. He played
one match.
One match. Yeah, so
I would say he's new.
Basically a new addition. Listen, that's the one I'm excited for. I'm gonna be honest. That man helped me win money when I was playing Fortnite. Watching all of his videos. He definitely helped me win some cash over in the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers and those other tournaments. So shout out to Benji Fishy, really appreciate that. But also he blew up my drop spot in Happy Hamlet because him and Mr. Savage started going there every fucking game, and that was my spot before anyone knew it was good. And then everyone started going there, so that was annoying. But still, he helped me a lot. So shout out to Benji Fishy. I hope that this team does pretty well, you know. And then they've gone ahead and made a whole bunch of other changes. Woot was brought in. Someone who mentioned Woot earlier? I can't remember, but Woot was mentioned earlier as being a hot prospect from Turkey. Reigns as well from Turkey brought into the roster. And then, of course, Boo, Mini Boo.
Nepotism not dead in the NBA, it turns out.
Nepotism, it's back. It's back with a vengeance. And so, yeah, big changes here. For Heretics, they have finally gotten away from the ties that had them bound to that old core that was really getting them nowhere, was just running on a treadmill for years. And they actually have, you know, they've opened a new chapter in the storybook. So will this be a good one, or will it continue to be meh? What are your thoughts, Sliggy?
I would say this is the team that gets wrecked the most by like the schedule for sure. You want a lot of games. This is the kind of team that you're like, oh man, this could be pretty good in like a year. Let's get loads of reps done this year, and then we focus on next year. And then you're looking at the format, and you're like, oh no, man, like how are we meant to get any reps in here? There's too many good teams right now. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried for this team. I mean, they really are Zoomers. Like Wu isn't even gonna be 18 by the time it starts, right? So Patty Tech plays the first tournament. Pretty sure that's right. Doesn't have an account apparently as well.
I respect that.
He's not old enough for Twitter yet.
Yeah, he's not old enough for Twitter either. So yeah, I think they're gonna have a rough start, and then I mean that's like 10% or maybe around 10% of their games gone at the beginning that he needs experience on. So yeah, on paper, I'm excited about this team. I think this team has a lot of potential, but I just think they need like they did a smart thing of playing or like trying to play some off-season events, and I think they've been practicing a lot earlier than everyone else. But the meta kind of got reset, so now they're back to square one. Yeah, they're just in the bottom bucket, like we were talking about earlier, and I think they can get upsets. And honestly, I think they've got like maybe a few upsets in them. But yeah, I think this is more like a team that is built for next year more than anything. And let's see if they actually stick to that. 'Cause it's going to be hard coming like somewhere between 8th to 11th is where I kind of expect them, and then to be able to keep the same team, that's a hard sell, I think.
I think what they might do, and I think in general, it's kind of like how FNATIC somewhat approached their roster, right? Where they went like, here's a group of players, we'll just keep the best ones and go from there, right? And then they just kept doing that, essentially. Like, we'll keep Boaster and Durka, and then, oh, Alfia, he's good, we'll keep him. Oh, now we'll add Leon Chronicle, whilst they were kind of figuring out the rest of it. Like you say, it'll be interesting because this team is so young that, like, maybe you feel like if you do have a bad year, it wouldn't shock me, like, if they did make some changes, right? But it has to be somewhat of a long-term vision when you've got, like, this young of a team, because otherwise it's like, what was the point, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But I do think that, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that there'll be a team that I think will just be very inconsistent. They'll just be like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, they're a team that wins a map off FNATIC, and everyone's like, oh my god, but maybe they lose the game, but it was close, and then the next week they play Karmine Corp, but are awful and lose 13-3, 13-4, right? Like, I do think that that's likely to be like where they probably end up, but as long as they stick with a plan and they recognize that this is probably a multi-year thing, then maybe for next year, if they are a bit better than we think, next year they'll be like, oh well, this team's coming together, and now it can be very good if that is the case.
Yeah, I always think the problem with going for, multi-year plans like this with young rosters is there's some people are going to fail. They're not going to be able to prove or have what it takes to actually compete at the highest level, and because of that, you need to slowly make changes. But that also like bites into the time that and the improvement of the other players too at the same time. Like, we've seen this happen in traditional sports and whatnot, where you just don't really have the time to develop like that.
And there's always the problem as well. Like, what if one of Boo or Mini Boo is really good, but the other one isn't? Like, what happens? Is it like we go together?
You're just heartless. You just cut one of them. It's simple.
Yeah, but what if they don't want that? What if they're like,
tough.
It's both or none?
Unlucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an awkward Thanksgiving dinner. They don't have Thanksgiving in Lithuania, or wherever they're from. But you get the point.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
I'm sorry, but this team right now, I don't think they'd win Ascension in EMEA. I think this team is a tier 2 team as of right now. Even though I think I've seen fantastic things out of almost all of them when they played in tier 2 last year. Wood, Gen.G, Fishy, like they played decent, but they weren't on that trajectory. Gen.G, Fishy in particular, to like win his league or anything like that. I think, and this hurts to say, but I think he has the benefit of massive clout in this instance. And I still think as well he has the potential to be a tier 1 player. But come on, man, the guy's been playing the game for like a year, and he's already in partnerships. Like,
yeah.
I, for one, don't think Heretics would ever keep a player because of clout, Bala. They would never do that.
Next one.
Ooh. Listen, I have some hope for Heretics here. I think they can finish in what is it? I was trying to think of the 9th place.
Well, I have high hopes they can finish 9th.
That's a savage line, bro. Jesus.
That's not. I meant that in the best way. Listen, it's all about how you take the words, not about how they're said. That's my excuse. Just take them in the most polite way possible. Let's talk about Koi. They're looking to finish in below that, I think. But they're looking to bounce back after a disappointing year. Hey guys, what are they doing with this roster? What are they doing? Can someone fucking riddle me that before we get into anything about how they might do?
Do you know what? I normally hear talkings and normally know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on with this
There's
team.
no rumors. There's just
there's no
nothing
rumors
is
or
happening?
anything. I
No,
swear, no
because
one.
they
no one
like
knows
signed.
anything.
They signed people and then they cut them. I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
because they signed. Yeah, they signed. Who is it? Shadow.
Shadow.
And some other. Shadow, Kamo, and Unfake. They signed them on
Plus
what is that?
unfake minus unfake.
10/27, and then they cut them on 11. So they had them for a month and a day.
Wait,
and
click
they,
that tweet. What does that tweet say? Sergio Fera. What is that? Is this a source?
Oh, that's just the source of them. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Well,
What an announcement.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. For the audio listeners at home, get trolled. You have no idea what we were just looking at. But sorry, I forgot people listen to this show. Then it's not a YouTube video. Well, all right, I'm losing my train of thought entirely because I'm just so.
Because we don't know what's happening.
Because they're losing their
because
train of thought, man.
yeah.
No one has a train of thought. The train hasn't left the station on thoughts. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So this team, as of right now, they're looking to. I hope they're looking to bounce. It doesn't even look like they're looking to bounce back. It looks like they're just looking to maybe field a team. I don't know what's happening.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
it
in
has
the
some-
EG situation right
Yeah,
now.
it has some EG vibes. That's what I was saying. Really feels EG vibes. They just everyone's just trying to get out. Trex managed to make it out, and then it looks like Shados is. I have just no idea what's going to be happening with this. Yeah, even he's meant to be going, right? That was the rumor.
Ibai, who was
Ibai's
like the
going.
main person, the content creator behind him, much like Kameto at Karmine Corp, much like Otaga at Gentlemates. Like he's trying to get out. That's not a good sign. And honestly, I heard about turmoil with Koi starting like in the middle of last year's season. Like it's not something that has subsided, the rumors. So I think that has affected the team significantly. And I also think that the vibe on the team and the people that they put together last year have affected the team significantly. Trex, when he left, talked about like how it was the hardest year for him. I don't know whether that's specifically like trying to allude towards the team not having a good environment, but the rumor is that him and Shados did not get along. So I think the vibes are rancid, and I'm not gonna blame the team directly, but I think Koi as well has not made it easy for this team.
I mean, I mean, if Ibai's out of the org, it's just a wrap for them. I mean, that's GG on that. Why does any fan of that team care? I mean, obviously you care for the players, but I mean, like the org fans, like who's a fan? I can't imagine how many fans do they have that aren't fans of him? They're fans of the org Koi without him. That's like a guy. I mean, that's just.
Are you about to pull out the Koi jersey?
I mean, that's just that's tough. I mean, I can't. I feel. Was it you who said this, Sliggy, or I can't remember if this was you or Josh or maybe both of you on the same episode at the same time. But it was something about how Koi was dealing severe career damage to Trex and he needed to get out of there. Was that you?
Sounds like Sideshow more than me.
Actually, yeah. Now that I say it, that sounds like Josh.
Yeah,
that sounds
more like he's
wait
on
a
a
second.
train
I
of
think you would have said that. If you did say that, it would have sounded a lot nicer.
Can you believe Sliggy said that? Holy shit.
That's really making a lot of sense. I think Josh.
Famously, Sliggy said,
"Oh, that's
melons.
him saying it."
Melons
Yeah.
was Sliggy.
Yep, there's Josh saying that right now, and I agree with him. I mean, I'm glad Trex was able to get out, even if it's for the quote unquote bench, so they say. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he was able to get out of there. Can we even say anything else about this goddamn team?
Nah, it's a shit show.
That's really all you could say, right? All right, let's move on to non-shit shows. Team Liquid, they've picked up the Apeks core in the big rebuild. And we've been able to see Team Liquid in the off-season. I remember talking about Liquid with you on a previous episode, Sliggy, where you're also talking about one of the main points you were raising was about how they will be able to perform when it actually comes to being on LAN this year. Where do you stand on that now? It's basically the same standing, same opinion.
Yeah, I'm at the same standings. They're like middle bucket along with the other guys, and it's like I could see I can see a world where they beat most of the people there and maybe they cause an upset, and I can see a world where they get right to the end and they kind of crumble again. There's a lot of players here that have that history behind them of when it really, really matters, they don't turn up to the level that they normally do. So that's still the shadow that is looming over them for me. But I do think I think I prefer this team to last year in terms of it just looks more stable. And I really hope we get to see like old school Nats. That's the main thing where I'm like looking at this. So Yampy obviously is looking like, at least in the off tournament, he was looking like the best I've seen him personally. And then Nats, we actually get to see him on Cypher. I would love to see him lurk again. I think I saw him lurk twice last year. I was losing my mind. I'm watching Redgar lurk like four times out of 5 times in a map, and Nats got to do it once, and I'm just like, why is he lurking? Why is Nats not lurking? So I really hope they kind of lean into the Cypher buffs and they show just like what we can kind of remember Nats to be like, just taking insane timings and just really swinging games. But yeah, I think the Apeks core is really strong. They kind of underperformed a little bit, obviously kind of fell at the final hurdle. And I think this might be one of those teams where the format doesn't suit them too well in terms of a lot of high pressure games. So yeah, we'll see. I hope for their sakes they can overcome it. But I think the ceiling's like really high for this team, especially Kiko. He's a very, very good player. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like the kind of heights that he gets to, if he can live up to, I guess, the potential that I know he could do.
Yeah, Liquid for me are just kind of like, yeah, as you said, a team kind of in that middle tier of team. It's kind of a weird one because obviously we've seen Enzo and Mystic like play, to a very high level, and like, yeah, okay, maybe they didn't perform the best in like the international tournaments, but they do have the experience of being in those situations and having been there a couple times like already. It's kind of I almost don't know what like Liquid's expectations for themselves will be, because it kind of feels like, do they think they should make like every international tournament? Are they, hoping to make like one? It's kind of a weird one where they have like, some very established players that like, are very good, obviously with Nats and Yampy. And you've got these players who have been there before, but maybe, flamed out a bit and had to go back to tier 2 last year. And it just feels a bit kind of, I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I do definitely agree with you that from last year's roster was just an amalgamation of like what felt like just everyone just like coming from different angles of everything, right? You had like Redgar on one side and then Safe, and then Yampy's got his own ideas and Nats has his own ideas, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Right?
Which wasn't an issue of them putting the team together necessarily. It was just like how it worked out.
No.
Yeah, but just I mean, before the season, everyone thought that would be a very strong team, right? Everyone had very high hopes for Liquid. It just didn't work out. But as you say, I think this year, I think you'll see like a more of a just stable steadiness with Liquid, and hopefully, like you say, we'll get, like Nats fucking lurking on Cypher, like and Viper, right? Like this should be prime Nats time. Like Viper and Cypher are incredibly strong. You'll be playing one of them probably on every map. Nats, go and fucking destroy everyone.
Yeah,
that would be my whole team talk. That would be
yeah, it's solid. Go get them, boys.
Yeah, this team is going to be solid, and I think we saw that in the offseason. I don't see any instability factors with what they did this year. Like I think they went for players who have played with each other in the past, and both with the Apeks core and then also Enzo and Mystic together. Like that's the same sort of thing, and I think that is definitely a way to get away from that instability. With that being said, like I don't agree with the aspect of them having a super high ceiling, because I feel like I've seen 3 of these guys already kind of perform as best as they possibly can and not be able to achieve what they like, I don't know, deep runs in international tournaments with Mystic, with Enzo, with Nats is the guy who stands out the most as being somebody who can be on the top of the world. But that's kind of been missing for a long time now. Like this is 2 years later that we're talking about. And while you see flashes, I don't think you've seen him really be able to pull the same sort of stuff off as frequently. So I think he's like falling out of that top 10 type caliber player. And
I mean, to be fair, when he was doing that, no one knew what was fucking going on. Like he,
Right.
he was lurking, and people
That's
were
what I'm
acting
saying.
like, "What the fuck is that? You can be like in the middle of the map on your own? Like what?"
just wrapping around on Fracture. Yeah, they're like, what the hell is going on? There's trips? What? You can put your camera above? I didn't know that. Like, yeah, I mean, he was innovative, and that's what made him really, really good. And I think that has been lacking for a long time now. Not to say that he's not still a very good player, but I think when you try to make the argument of Liquid having a high ceiling, I don't agree.
Hmm.
I think they should
Where do
be
you
in
put their
really
ceiling at?
good winning positions this year because they're just way too solid. But like, they're not going to be. They're probably not going to be able to win EMEA like they did last year. I think that like sort of fluke performance is not. It's not in the capabilities of this team. Whereas
Well,
last year,
I think that's the interesting question. How many international tournaments do you think they'll make?
I mean, with the amount of good teams in this, we're gonna get in power rankings mode. But like, they're probably going to be right on the outside looking in on most of them.
Wait, sorry, it's 2, 3, 4. Two teams make kickoff, 3 teams make
2,
masters,
3, yeah.
4
Yeah.
teams, right?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, they make 1 then. They'll make champs.
Okay.
That's what I would say. But I'm the
Yeah.
only one. I'm the only one who's speaking up here.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're
hanging me out to dry.
they're right on the outside looking in probably for most of the
Alright.
year.
So you
Yeah.
got 1 as well, Sluggy,
Yeah, I'm pretty
and
much
I'm
on
assuming
board with
it's
that.
not kickoff.
I think it probably won't be kickoff, but maybe I think kickoff's kind of wide open
Kickoff
to
is
a
a
lot of
random
teams.
tournament.
Yeah, kickoff's really wide open, so maybe it is that. Yeah, I think if they make 1 and it's champs, then that's kind of fine for where I'm sitting. But yeah, I could see them making kickoff and then maybe making champs as well if it was like a really good year for them. But I kind of agree. I don't think this team would win their region more just because I think FNATIC kind of took their foot off the pedal last year. But dude, the 4th, 3rd spot for champs in EMEA it's anyone's. I really think it's anyone's. There, I'm telling you, there's like 6, 7 teams that could be there. So that's gonna be pretty fun.
All right, and well, one of those teams that I'm going to assume will be in that 6, 7. I mean, they literally have to be is Vitality. And we're 3rd that already segues into what we were just talking. Like this is some.
Yeah.
We're potting on a totally different level. Will Vitality attend a Masters event in 2024? Sliggy, I'm throwing it right back to you on that one. We can just keep going off this lower 3rd, baby.
It's dude, it's a simple yes. Surely, look at this team. Like it has to be. Like this is the time for Vitality. This is a strong team. I think obviously. So, they just announced Trex today, and he can't play kickoff. So maybe they're gonna have a slow start. Destrian's in for kickoff. Is what they've announced. So I think probably slow start. Maybe we won't see too much for kickoff, but like later in when we kind of get to the Shanghai qualification and we get to actual like champs, I think this is one of the strongest teams. They look a little bit like Liquid did last year in terms of this is a strong team on paper. Like I can see this team doing really, really good. So I hope they don't kind of end the same way that Liquid does. But yeah, once you get Trex in, this is a very strong team. I think I do have to agree with even though I think Destrian probably played some of the best I've seen him like towards the end of last year, I originally thought that he was meant to be the IGL, and then it turns out Sender's IGLing. So then it was like, I always felt like Destrian could get upgraded from someone else. Even though the event that he played might have been Superdome, or I can't remember, it was the Egypt tournament. It was Convergence. That was in India, yeah. And he kind of got dominated a little bit in terms of like Foot doing a game plan that kind of annihilated him. So I could see how from the inside the team were like, oh man, like he kind of let us down a bit here, but actually he just got like singled out all the time, like he was getting overwhelmed from a good game plan. So yeah, I think this is a good upgrade. I think it's a strong team. They're like near the high. This is a scary team. Like, this is one of those teams that you don't want to play. I think Runner looks incredible. Where's the weak link in this? Like, I don't really see it. Even Sender's like really solid.
I mean, maybe the role that Trex might fill when he gets onto the team. That's a possibility.
That's actually something. Didn't Safe tweet? This is something as well. Didn't Safe tweet like a picture of Raze the other day as well? So maybe he's going back to Duelist, which is like bringing up some weird territory in terms of like the last 2 years and of the back and forth of that. So it'll be interesting to see who's playing what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very weird. Because back when they were both on Guild Safe and Trex, they would swap, like, sometimes Safe is playing Cypher and Trex is on Raze or Jet, and sometimes it's the opposite way around. It was very odd. And then now you've maybe got Safe playing Initiator as well, so it's like, we're gonna have to see, like, where it all comes out. Vitality, I think a lot of people are very high on Vitality. I think this is kind of the team that I think everyone is like, oh yeah, this is the team that, is gonna be there this year. I'm still a little cautious, I guess, in terms of I still think there's like teams like Foot, Giants, Liquid, Navi that they'll be competing with that I'm not like confident that they'll be better than those teams, and if they just lost like a crucial game in a playoffs versus them, they wouldn't go to any international events. I think that that's not unreasonable. I do agree with you, they'll probably go to 1, maybe 2. But I do think there's a very, very realistic chance that they just, in the biggest game of the season, where they have to qualify, they have to win to qualify, they happen to lose to Foot. And it's like, makes sense. Like, I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Stunned silence.
That's fair.
How dare you.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I at least for me, well, okay, I'm not going to get ahead of myself because we are about to do a power ranking in about 26 seconds. But I'm just gonna, I'm saving my thought for the power ranking. That's totally fine. Ball, what were we gonna say? I'm saving it. I'm saving it. Ball.
This team is insane. I think when you talk about a ceiling for a team, I think these guys, Runner and Kicks, haven't even proven like what they can do yet. And I think this team is going to catch fire at one point because Safe is one of those guys who can just turn it on, man. And I don't think we saw it in the offseason from him because he was playing kind of off role. But once they figure out exactly what they're going to do, I have good faith. Like, I really liked what they did in the offseason. I really thought that they cooked and were on the fundamental level, like really, really gelling with each other. Fender, Kicks, all these guys were playing so well to like back each other up in moments where it's like, holy crap, he has distance. Like, I'm really excited about this team, and I think they'll probably be that team that starts to make it once there's more than 2 slots up for grabs, and I think they'll be consistent pieces for international play in the EMEA this year.
All right, and finally, the Gentle Mates. They have ascended to the VCT, and they have kept everything. They've simply kept everything. What are the expectations for this team with all this time spent together? Bit of a, almost like, a G2 kind of thing going on in NA for, at least in regard to how long the players have been together. But they've literally all now stayed together. What are the expectations here now that they're on the grandest stage of them all? Will the pressure get to them? Are they ready for this? DMV.
The VCT EMEA League, the grandest stage of them all. That's what they should advertise it with. Gentle Mates, weird one, because to me, like, if you look at the other Ascension teams, like those teams, you would be like everyone thought before the season, like, yeah, Bleed are going to be strong in APAC, and you had obviously the Guard, now G2 in Americas, and everyone was like, yeah, that makes sense. But this team was not that team. When we were coming into Ascension the whole year, it's probably going to be down to Apeks and Ascend, and whoever wins that game will go. And then this team all of a sudden just turned up. And even during the first part of the Ascension tournament, they were like, okay. But then they just decided one day to wake up and just become the greatest players of all time. The tank, I was watching that Ascend game, for Ascend, and I'm just watching, like, Natank can't die. Like, he just can't die. Like, they can't kill him. It's just impossible. He's plus 34. Like, he was just fucking destroying them. And it was just like, oh my god, what's going on? And then everyone thought, oh, Apeks will beat them. And then the exact same thing happened, where it was just like, they just played on fire. Now, the thing is, that to me was probably more of like a, just like, for those couple days, they just played the best Valorant that they ever have played as a team. And now I'm a bit worried for them that maybe they go back to the league and they kind of, it settles down to like their average level, and they're maybe not that team, and they aren't that good. I find it a bit weird they haven't played any off-season events, I don't think, right? They've just stayed quiet, so there's a little like mystery there as well. Like,
Well, again, EMEA have shit.
Yeah, we
so-
have
yeah, well,
none.
yeah, true. But you know,
got
but
nothing to
we've
play.
seen other EMEA teams fly across the world and go to wherever and play in some event. But Gentlemates, it's all been quiet. Maybe this is just an inherent bias, but I don't. Their logo drives me crazy. Like I can't deal with this
Here we
logo.
go again, bro. Like,
No.
I hate it so much.
He's real for that.
Like it's got 3 different fonts. Your name is Gentlemates, but it's Gentlemates Mate. It frustrates me, and I just can't get over that, and I never will. Also, I'm not a massive fan of like their color highlighter green color. That's just me.
I'm stun locked again.
Yeah.
Boss,
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that one. I will say I'm
kidney
excited. Dude, I wish they had a better group. Like their group for kick. So this is one of those
yeah.
teams
Yeah,
where
they
you like give them a new meta. Yeah, they got so wrecked. Give them a new meta. Let Existence cook. Like let's see what they can come up with. And they got to play Vitality and then FNATIC. Like that's so devastating. They've just been silent for like 6 months, coming up with loads of new stuff, and you get to display it against these 2 teams. So. Yeah, I'm a little bit gutted for them, but I think they're one of the teams that are actually going to be fun to watch. Existence historically within at least Valorant and obviously in like CS back in the day, like you always came up with new stuff that was like really fun or like maybe even game breaking to an extent, or at least just like a really good way of using like off meta agents. So I'm excited to watch them. They're going to be one of the teams that is going to be like a little bit of breath of fresh air for sure, in terms of he has a different way of thinking about the game. And once there's demos out there, I think they're actually a little bit of a scary team. They're one of those teams, if you played the same for a long time, I think Existence can come up with a pretty good game plan. So there may be one of the teams that I'm underrating the most, I would say, because I think this team can be a little bit scary, and they seem to like some of the agents that maybe could be good off picks, like Phoenix and stuff like that.
They love a
Played
Phoenix.
like Phoenix and like yeah, they love a Phoenix. So yeah, I think it could be fun. I have a lot of faith in Existence in terms of their coach. I'm glad he made it, and let's see what they can do. But I don't think we'll see them at any event. It's more just like can they upset one of the big 7? We're calling them. I don't even know what the number is these days. 7, 6, 8 of them that are inferior, better. So yeah, we'll see.
Yep, I got nothing to add really. It's all about how they can withstand and improve throughout the season. I agree. I don't think they're going to see them in international events, but this is a team who ascended against odds, and I think you should kind of expect them to catch heat at some point throughout the season again, if that's the style that they go to. I just think it's unfortunate they didn't manage to to use that and like to feel how to do it again, and that's going to be really rough now that they're going to play against much higher tier teams in general.
I also think it's tough as well. Like if you've spent your whole season winning, and then you win an off-season event, like maybe this team, how do they react to getting like if they got stomped 2 weeks in a row? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do they know how to deal with that if they've been winning in the French league and then they win essentially?
I think with some of the experience that they have on the team, especially
Yeah.
with Existence, it should be like that shouldn't be an issue, right? But that's the sort of thing that a coach like that is able to easily like instill in his team. Like it's not a problem.
All right. Let's go to a quick little break, and then we're going to come back. And after that, we will be doing the power rankings for all of. Wait, what?
Said,
The
shit.
Oh, the power rankings for all of the. You got so excited to call me off guard. We'll be doing the power rankings and the bold predictions. So we'll see you in 5.
Yippee! All right, I gotta find some more music. Probably the same exact song as always.
Yay.
It's probably gonna be really loud too.
Just put on the sideshow diss track.
Oh, that's a great idea. I will do that. Perfect. Let's go.
Oh
Good
my
job.
god.
Sliggy. I've seen the YouTube short, you little fuckhead. And this is me and Bren coming back at you. You've thrown all my games, slandered my name. You calling me out over TikTok fame. I'm gonna club this slug and fuck up your mug. Your strats are malformed like the face of a pug. Your VCT legacy is all but a smear. Time for someone to sage out your career. I'm the prototype, stole my whole scene. I'm the original, you're the knockoff co-stream. You got 8 chances, down from 10. I'ma write your will in epic pen. You come on Plat Chat, can't get a word in. This beatdown will make you back to observing. Chair streams, no cash, your survival's a gamble. Bald head, lush stash, here comes the egg scramble. All these bars was written by chat, just like how Bacon made every strat. My premier team, #1 in the scene. Coach Potatoes strat like Karmine Corp's scream. You're hating on little buddy, well I'm bringing in mine. Bren, time to go, spit a fucking
Your
line.
teams all got battered. Fish and chips 1, 2, 3. Your only good part is bacon, that's why they call you piggy. Your strats are made by bacon, yet you can't even fry. This is Valorant, motherfucker. You get shot, you die. Cat. They got 1 chance to close this out. Sliggy, I'll give you 1 chance to close your whore mouth.
Bren, you're being aggressive. Don't be a twat. I think it's over. We've owned him, chat.
All right, how much time do we have left? We have 2 minutes. Let's get another song going.
You taking requests?
Do you know good copyright-free songs?
No.
All right, here's a great one. 1 sec.
Josh is trolling. Why is that diss track unlisted?
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to release it.
Is he embarrassed? That's just fire.
He's not ready for the repercussions.
It's so good. He
The
said that he
slug
wanted
code.
to do like a proper video for it. So I don't know if he's waiting
Oh my god. Imagine fucking Bren like in just like an abandoned warehouse.
for that. It has some potential.
That song is so good. Okay. I think we're ready to come back.
And we're back. I just sprinted back and got here
Just
right on time.
That was clutch.
We're back. What are you talking about? I was here the whole time. I was ready. All right. Let's
Doing
power
this
rank.
thing?
Let's power rank these teams. Kurt, bring up the graphic.
I'm firing it up. Give me a
right.
moment.
Fire it up. What did you guys do with your 5-minute break, huh?
I sat here.
Yeah.
Actually launched WoW and flew to a place in the game.
Dude, this guy's
I'm still
Wait,
addicted.
really?
This guy's a fucking dork. Am I right, guys? Wait, what happened? Oh, dude, I lagged. Fuck. I thought my lag was fixed, and I lagged, dude. I'm sad now. But now I'm happy because we can power rank the European teams. And the graphics up. All right.
Let's do this shit. Fnatic first.
Let's do this.
Yeah,
Fnatic,
Fnatic
one.
won.
Wow.
Oh,
I mean,
where's-
you can put Foot up there. You can put him in. I
Second?
mean,
Ooh.
it's a little well, listen, we're shotgunning it, and then we'll get
I like it.
precise.
I mean, I'm pretty
what I mean?
excited actually. Thinking about the possibility of them like being better than Navi is hype because of CNED. Like that'd be so
oh yeah,
interesting.
that's actually true. Yeah.
like
Real.
but it's not real. So let's put Navi second.
I
Foot
think it's
third.
real.
Really?
No.
Thank you for that.
No, I just wasted your time.
Vitality up there?
Yes.
Yeah, Vitality. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this already. This isn't too bad.
Like
Yeah,
Liquid
just-
or Giants?
You remember the
maybe?
argument about how Fnatic is boring and because they're the best and it's like nobody's ever gonna beat them or whatever? EMEA might be boring because like the 1, 2, 3, 4, everybody's agreeing right now. This shit is boring.
I could see from 2
Yeah.
to like 6. I think you can make a real argument in my mind.
Yeah, I do think the 2 to 6 could be randomized
Like
to
with
an
Liquid
extent,
and Giants in there probably.
but I think if we go off like performances for last year, I think it probably should be like this, even though we're just randomly putting Vitality up there because they look like a sick team. But I think Navi should be second and Foot should be third. I mean, maybe there is an argument that Foot should be second, but
Man, that
I'm
is
on.
tough.
anyone on
I'm
board with that?
tempted to make it. But I don't think I will.
It's like
I
one of
think
those things where you want people to react to this. That's we're content creators. We react merchants at heart, and you don't want to just have Fnatic because you have to put Fnatic 1 because otherwise we're fucking trolling. So then it's like, how do we make
Yeah.
a bit of buzz around this? Oh well, you don't move Navi from 2, and you put Foot in there, and you stick Navi in 5th.
I'm not a content creator. I'm a podcaster and a
See, I-
you're a content creator. I've seen your power rankings, TMV. They're pretty like
Last year,
I know what you're trying
I
to
had
do.
Koi in 3rd to start the season. I was fucking mad on Koi at the start of the
Wait,
season.
you had Koi at
What?
third?
Before they played a game. This is before any games
Okay.
played. My pre-season, I was
Still,
high on Koi.
Wait,
Because
who
you
is-
gotta
who is second?
try and get the numbers, Sliggy. It's about the numbers.
I'm sorry. Are you
That's where I'm
talking
going
about
wrong.
this year?
No,
Or
no, of course
I
fucking
was
not. Are
gonna
you
say-
kidding me?
I mean, I was gonna. That's why. I mean, that'll drive the note. Oh, listen, I can't even hate because I basically did the same thing. So listen, I'm on board. I think that, honestly,
Bother.
TMV.
You want me to go back to some of these Plat Chat rankings and take a
That
look
makes-
at them?
I mean,
That makes
they're good.
no.
There's arguments. There's thought behind them. Not for the engagement. We would never do that. We would never do that.
Honestly, I think only real intellectuals put Koi at the top of their power rankings last year.
I don't remember who the fuck we were rating back then. What like Fnatic Navi probably, of course, as is usual in the EMEA, but I think everything else was just
I don't know.
random
I don't
last
know.
year. Anyways, let's not go on the fucking
let's talk
historical
about
tangent again.
2024, the current year.
5 Team Liquid. I would suggest.
Yeah, that's fine. Team Liquid. Oh man, I do kind of want to put. I don't know if I want to argue for Foot to be in second. I'm feeling really sheepish about it. I want someone else to step up and say it, and then I'll be yeah. But I don't want to do it
wanted
myself.
to do I wanted to do like a little bit of a thing for it, but then I was literally just thinking of just how good Navi looked at the end of champs. Like even though they didn't actually get out of their groups, there is like they looked like they did a lock in, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe they actually should be second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I kind of piped up and then I took my tail behind my legs.
All
Oh.
my like potential reasons why Foot might be good are just worse than the potential reasons why Navi is going to be good. Like I'm more excited in that regard. So I'm not.
And
gonna
everyone
make
thinks that
arguments.
Navi will be better with artists as well. So it's like, it's not like
They should.
it's not like they're
I have
staying
a
the
question.
same. Like we should think they're getting better.
Regardless, like take away the conditions, take away the environment. Is artists better than CNED?
In that team, well,
I
that's the thing.
don't
In
think
that
so.
team, yes.
Yeah, I
in-
know, but
in
that's
a
not what I
vacuum.
had. Yeah.
is
It's
close,
hard,
but-
bro.
Would
Like,
Artist be better than CNET on foot right now?
I would pay to see artists try and speak Turkish.
That's what a wild ass roster. That is a nuts roster. Holy.
Speaking Turkish with artist's accent would be the funniest thing of all time.
The thing is, we still hold CNED to the like OP
Ascend.
jet standards. That's
Yeah.
the issue. But I think it's close.
Excuse me.
Dude, this
Anyway.
is a scramble in the middle. The middle of the
Alright.
pack here is outrageous. By the
I'm
way.
putting.
I'd
Listen.
put
I
Giants
said
in
it.
6th.
That's fine. Heretics are in ninth. That's what I said that earlier, right? I said they were ninth place. There you go.
Guys, this is right now. I always do power rankings ahead of time just to see what my individual thing is and where I can argue. And this is exactly my power rankings. This is exactly my power rankings. And nobody's arguing, so cool. Let's ship it. This is my power ranking, and it's going to be the best one we've ever done.
It's pretty good. I have like two things where I'm looking at it, and it's like I would maybe put BBL above Heretics, and then maybe K Corp, but they shouldn't actually be above them. But I think they can beat some of those teams.
Yeah.
The only thing I would actually argue for here in terms of anything that's wrong is maybe Heretics and BBL could be switched, but I'm not sure where everyone else sits on it.
See,
I'd
with
take
Heretics and
personally.
BBL, my feeling is maybe if you simulated 1 million matches of each team, I think BBL would their average would be a little bit higher than Heretics, but I think Heretics could have higher punching power. On the and in a 9 if they're playing whatever 4 games this year, I think it's very possible that they could hit some higher strides than BBL, but the average will not be as good. But
I'm
I don't-
tainted
I
against
don't know.
BBL as well because I've just got that. Do you remember that Karmine Corp BBL game? In fact, both Karmine Corp BBL games, they played in week 1 on Icebox, and it went on for fucking forever. It was just a game of, it's early Karmine Corp versus BBL. Of course it wasn't good, and it went on forever. And then they played in was it LCQ as well? And that game as well. There was it was when Karmine Corp lost a 4v1 or something. It was just full of.
Sounds
And
about
these
right.
are my only memories of BBL from last year, and it's just I'm just so sick of them.
Your only memories of BBL last year are Karmine Corp games. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's not great. So
fuck.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased against them, but I personally would say that Heretics should be above them. Gentle Mates are a tough one for me as well.
Gentle
because-
mates are hard. Maybe they're too high, but
Yeah, because I honestly don't. I feel like they're again a team that could do anything, to be honest. Apart from beat FNATIC, honestly, fuck knows. I really do mean, I saw Natank put on cheats in that game against Ascend. And so,
okay.
What?
that, I should clarify, not literally. That was kind of metaphorically, he put on cheats. He didn't actually cheat, but it just seemed like he did. Seemed like they couldn't kill it.
Dude.
Wasn't that a story about Scream? He accidentally put it on.
Yeah, he had invincibility on, and then he was just playing. He's just playing. He had and literally no
Man,
one
I'm
could
fucking
shoot him.
frying.
No, he's literally just going there. He's like, no one can kill me. And he literally has the cheats on. They're just bullets are just going through him. And then they realized 8 rounds in that he had cheats on. He had invulnerability on. They just
That
couldn't
is
kill him.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's pretty good. I don't know.
I think
Dude,
my
it's
only
pretty, we
hang
kind
up
of
is
we did pretty fast.
Giants.
we really did.
Giants.
I feel bad because they actually performed higher than this last
Yeah.
year.
But
But
the
I'm-
thing is, I think you think Vitality will probably be better, right? We all think that Vitality will be better. So, yeah, I could see putting Giants maybe above Liquid. I wouldn't hate that. I don't. That's fine. But again, I feel like when you're quibbling about over 1 or 2 spaces of teams that are very close, it's
Well, okay. That's for me. It's if Giants, if Redgar is actually good for that, if that team is good for Redgar and Redgar is good for the team, they're going to be way better than Vitality. I would say actually.
you think?
Yeah, but I just don't believe in that.
Damn.
I think
then
Giants
why
should be
bring it
competing
up?
with Foot.
I kind of just went back to refresh my memory, and we were talking about it earlier, and there are a lot better teams in EU this year than last year.
This is a
It-
good
Oh,
year
it's
for
stacked.
you.
Way
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Like
It looks
Giants,
so much better.
they definitely got the and to TMV's point earlier as well about their monotonous, boring run of beating everyone worse than them. There were a lot of teams that were just worse than them on paper that they just beat in boring fashion, and that's just not going to be this case this time. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're in the perfect spot. Otherwise, I almost have a sick, twisted temptation to try to get Karmine Corp, but
Ooh.
that might be an extra. That might
I have
be a
no
little too
argument
much.
for why that would happen.
I know. And what's crazy is neither do I.
Well, that's the thing with
it's
the
more of a
EMEA.
feeling in my heart.
I feel like the groups are like very clear, right? I feel like we could probably all agree like FNATIC are like clearly the best, and then there's like a tier, and you might put NAVI in their own tier, and you might not, and you might put them like with that tier to 6, and then I might even put Karmine Corp and Gentlemates in this kind of their own tier of like who knows, right?
The
Like
French, their own
the,
tier
yeah,
of
the French tier, the French unknown, and then you know the last teams. Like, I feel like that's pretty set. I don't know. Like that's how I feel about it personally.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I think Kickoff
Classic
can beat those
EMEA.
teams, but we can't put them above these teams. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Even though there's a good chance that they could finish above. I mean, it looks good. I'm not gonna lie.
I think this is.
I don't
I'm
know.
fine with
You're
this.
shipping it. Holy,
We did
fastest
this in
power
like
ranking
what
of-
2 minutes.
I mean,
Pure
yeah, this is
agreement. Yeah, that
We had
looks
a-
great.
We had a break for this.
quite reasonable. Yeah, this is really just quite reasonable and fine.
Classic
Kurt,
EMEA. Just,
take the screenshot. I don't know why I keep thinking you have to do that. You don't have to, but Kurt, take the screenshot. Wow, that was all right. Hey,
this will be
you know,
interesting. Like,
good job.
I'm
everybody.
interested to see what the Valo comp reaction to this is, and everyone's just like, huh? Like, you know, normally when a
it's
Plat
in
Chat
there.
does power rankings, like, you know, it's like, what the fuck are they doing? Sentinels are the best, bro. Like, but this is just like,
I mean,
Makes
people
sense.
can have arguments from like anywhere from like 4th to 7th, maybe, but that's not much.
that's
That's not much to change. Maybe
I
they could
think-
argue about Navi, but I don't think so.
I think a lot of people would try to put. I think a lot of people would try to put Vitality higher. I think that's the first thing people will look at. There's just so much hype around that team. I think because people would say at Convergence, yes, Foot beat Vitality. All the games were close. The roster with Trex, like etc., they're going to be like put them above Foot. You know, and I could see some people trying to argue for them above Navi, but I think a lot of people would try to say Vitality would be in 3rd.
I'm just really curious which of the 4 of us the French fans are gonna go after for putting Gentlemates in 8th, even though it logically is like, okay, that's not even that bad of a
8
ranking.
is in their name.
All right, they're going after you, Wyatt.
That's fine. I don't have any social. I just deleted all my accounts, so that's your problem now, Ball. All right, let's. We're extending the fastest power ranking of all time and try and make it like the second fastest of all time. Let's move on. We've done a good job here. Let's do our bold predictions for who we have qualifying from the EMEA Kickoff tournament.
Because we have the
Kurt.
brackets.
Press the stinger button.
I can't find it. It's lost. There we go.
Where is nice?
Boom.
Predictions.
Oh, wow!
Alright.
Hold up. Okay, I thought. Okay.
I have a confession here. Everybody's gone for Fnatic Foot, but I forgot to look at how the bracket worked, and Fnatic and Navi probably can't both go. So
Yeah.
I would like to change to Fnatic Foot as well.
Well, okay, hold on.
It's-
Let's
there is-
make sure
I mean,
because
yeah, change it, but there is a chance that they don't meet because it switches in the playoffs. So who's in
After the play-ins,
You have to play in, yeah. Who's in? So someone from Foot's team would have to. Someone from Foot's
Foot's
group
would
come
have to
second,
win.
right?
Yeah,
Heretics,
which is
K
Giants, I think.
Corp, Giants. So maybe Giants. I mean, maybe.
That's the thing, though. It's kind of weird, like, if you're trying to do it that way, because it's like, you could make a case for, like, oh, Giants will get out of Foot's group, out of the second place teams. Or you could say, oh, Liquid are going to be the best of the second place teams. Or you could say that, oh, Vitality are going to be the best of the second place teams.
I'm fucking lost. Please explain what the fuck is happening.
Right,
Because
so-
I thought the Fnatic would play Navi.
The way it works is, the teams that come second all play in their little play stage, whatever. Whoever wins out of that, you can't play them if they were in your initial group.
Oh.
But other than that, it's random. So
Okay.
you can't, like, it's impossible to know. Even if you could guarantee that a team was gonna finish, like, be the best second place team, you still then wouldn't fully know. Other than, like, if Vitality wins, Fnatic will play another first place team, right? Like, that's the only thing you can know. But you don't know which one it would be either. And I don't know how they're gonna do that. Probably just a random draw, I would guess. So yeah, but it's.
Okay.
It's tough.
You know,
I was just going off.
I was acting stupid to like have you fully explain it for the viewers, but now I'm actually just fucking lost. Like,
It is quite convoluted, but
Yeah.
it will. Yeah,
I mean, if we're all picking Foot, there's no way that goes
dude,
wrong.
this
Are we?
I mean, no way.
Is that what you're locking in, Bala?
So
yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck it. I don't.
Okay, so
I really
we've
care. Like,
all
fucking, let's
gone
Plat
with
Chat
no
guarantee
way
this
it's
shit.
wrong.
Let's Plat
Yeah,
Chat
Plat-
guarantee this shit.
like,
That scared the shit out of me.
I mean, this has just been like, guys, we've had such like a nice, polite, agreeable time. Like, we could all get like a nice little lunch after this, or have a nice little afternoon. This has just been such like a polite, agreeable, kind episode. There's not
But
really
Wyatt,
any
I'll just walk next
debating
door
or
and come and.
It's just-
Come in what? Sorry, what did we?
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
happening?
The
I'm
problem is
jealous.
it got dark here. You can tell.
Yeah,
like,
it actually did get dark at the same
got
time as
dark.
well. Surely we don't live together in Gloucester.
I will say this has a strong chance of being wrong though. Like before we get
Yeah.
posted on Reddit, like this has a strong chance of being wrong. It's a crap
It's
format.
too late for the
and
Reddit.
and the meta
I don't
got changed.
agree.
I
I think there's a strong
You think
chance.
it's
I think it's a strong
locked in?
chance we're all right.
Oh, okay.
As
Fair enough.
always.
Well, I have the 50-50 because I also sit for Navi, and who gives a shit?
Covering all the bases, yeah.
So
See, I
all right.
literally only picked Foot because I thought like, there's just Navi are gonna get screwed. Fnatic will play Navi. That was literally my thought. Like, I'm just gonna go on a limb and guess that Fnatic will play Navi in the playoffs, and Navi will get screwed, and that's why Foot will go. Because I think like if Foot played Navi, I mean we just power ranked Navi above Foot, so you'd assume we'd think that to be the case. No.
Not
Navi
at
would-
the
It still would
beginning
be
with-
very close though.
Yeah,
I-
I would put them above them for meta change at the moment. They got all the chaos stuff. They're ready to
That's
go.
true.
I would say if they met
Wait
now,
till they see Angels
Foot should
Yoru
win.
though.
That's true. That's the wild card.
I'm still lost. Can I just ask a question here, TMV? You seem to understand the format. Basically, in order for the Fnatic and Navi not to meet if they both get first place,
Yeah.
Group A second place has to win the play-ins.
Yeah. I guess.
There's only one condition. So basically, like
Yeah, but I
Heretics,
mean, obviously they could still lose.
Giants,
Like Navi
and
could still
Kickoff.
lose to Foot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, Giants. The only way that it's wait what? No,
Yeah, Giants, Heretics, or whoever the fuck.
no,
Kickoff
because let's say that one of those
have to
teams
win the
won.
play-ins.
No, that would mean that they don't. Like, am I getting
No,
lost?
no. Where I'm agreeing, like that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is if they have to win in order for Fnatic and Navi not to play.
Yeah,
it would have
but
to
they
be.
can still play. There is still a chance that they play if one of the others wins, though.
Yes, of
Like,
course.
Yeah,
No,
so there's multiple ways they
100%
can play,
chance.
though.
No, there's a 100% chance that they will play if a Group B or Group C team wins the play.
Dude,
Yeah, he's right.
I just
Yeah, dude, it's a great format because all
I
of us
just
are
think-
just absolutely stumped with just trying to work it out. Like,
I know.
what
Just
a pile of
it's
crap.
the casual viewers are going to have a really fun time watching Kickoff. That's all I'm thinking about. How easy it'll be. For,
It's crazy because it's
for,
actually just
fans
like
of
simple
Mixwell's
as
stream
fuck.
to watch.
But
Yeah.
It is confusing, though.
Well, is it though? Is it
Yeah,
though? I mean,
it
if you need
is.
if you need a fucking doctorate to figure out which team is like winning the play-in, it's
The
just
thing
not.
is, you could
it's
boil
not
it
easy.
down. You could boil it once
mean,
we like progress this. You
Dude,
boil
this
it down into a single line. It'll be able to fit
Yeah.
on a bracket. Like that's the sort of thing that like it's possible. Anyways,
Well, is it VLR's fault? Is it Riot? Who's displaying this information in a
Okay,
strange way?
so Riot originally said that Group C and Group B play each other at the bottom, but then whoever wins play-ins, if it's the same group as say Foot, then it would switch it up.
So they changed. They changed
The
it after they
Riot,
announced
the
it?
Riot infographic person screwed up, I think.
The infographic guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Probably
god.
part of the layups, who knows?
That's Christ.
holy shit.
Oh my god. All right. So what we're saying is, if actually what I'm saying is I'm fucking done with this. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. I'm over it. I'm over it. We all went with FNATIC Foot, and that's the right
Take that
answer.
to the bank.
And if it's not the right answer, well, it's gonna be I don't care. And that's I don't know who else. I don't know who. I can't parse through all this data. Maybe Vitality, maybe Navi, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna be FNATIC and Foot. You heard it here first. All the teams got ranked. We went over all the teams. We covered everything that's going on right now in Europe generally. Is there any other breaking news? Any other significant events in Europe that we need to discuss right now? In or out of Valorant, or
Jesus.
or just anything we need to discuss in general.
Europe's
Any
stagnating
Valorant breaking
economy
news?
falls further behind the U.S. Just like Valorant. This is crazy.
Man. keep making that content. Just keep pushing that content out, and we'll be fine.
Oh,
All right,
I got one thing. Sorry to
oh.
end us off. Is everyone else sick of Icebox yet? Or
Oh my god.
Oh my
I'm so
god.
sick of this
I
movie.
mean,
This
Oh
map.
my goodness.
I played my first ranked game of the new Breeze as well. It's so much worse. I thought I liked Halls when Breeze initially came out, and I thought that was the interesting part of the map, and everything else was dull as fuck. But now that it's back, like it's so bad. Defending that map is hell. It
Yeah,
is pure.
defending
It's
is
pure
hell.
hell. It's horrible, and I hate it. And the map pool is just so unbearable because it feels like every other game you're just going into a Breeze or an Icebox, and it's just like, please don't give me these maps. And Icebox is worse as well. So I think the changes made Icebox worse, which is tough. Like if you were purposefully trying to make it worse, that would be a challenge. And I think they've managed it.
Dude, they didn't. Never mind. I'm not gonna go on this fucking
Let's do
Icebox rant again. Dude,
Let's do it.
I'll allow you to do it as the
They didn't-
host.
Oh,
they did
We have
Breaking
some
news.
breaking news.
Icebox is fixed.
Yeah, Icebox is fixed, but also
Haven's
the America's bracket has been released.
Oh.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
Golden
All
State
energy
Oh,
Warriors.
it's this
optic.
one.
Oh, we got trolled. We got trolled. Very nice.
I think Zoms wins against Brazil again.
Wow, well, the Lakers versus Golden State. That's a good one. What? How does this affect LeBron's legacy? How will it affect it? Jesus Christ! All right. Now I'm officially over it, and I'm done. Actually, wait, Paul. Do you want to go on your rant?
Yeah. Come on, Ball, do it.
They just didn't. They didn't address a single piece of this map that was wrong. They didn't change anything that had to do. In fact, they made it worse.
They made it
made worse to try to attack it, dude, because you're getting flanked from one direction every single time. It's just. And you're stuck in a lane. You're like fucking trapped there. You can't get up in the kitchen anymore. You can't actually pinch doing anything. And they just. How do you not touch the A side at all? At all, bro. Like, how do you not even change a single thing about it? Like, even I wouldn't even care. Like, at least add, like, fuck it, dude. Icebox is a dog shit map, anyways. Like, let's add a random other elevation change. Like, why not? We already have pipes. We already have bell. We have all this crap. Like, why not? They just like.
They should have put a zip line from B to A. Just like
now we're talking. Fast rotates on the defense. Yeah.
just do whatever the fuck, man. Like, and the problem is as well, like, it's not even the like. Okay, Ascent pro meta wise, very boring. Like, I know that me and Sliggy like have to watch Ascent over and over again, and it's fucking painful. But Icebox and Breeze now, like the Breeze meta might have been interesting had they not changed halls. But now that they've changed halls, everyone has to play Cypher.
Can I tell you how the Breeze meta would have been interesting?
Go on.
If they didn't remove it from the map pool right when Viper Harbor started. Like, that was literally the one thing that was going to be like, holy shit. Imagine if we had fucking the Viper Harbor meta that eventually phased out, but everybody was all about when right after lock-in, everybody was like, holy shit. And nobody gets to play it on that Breeze map where it actually had some legs and it was kind of interesting.
Same with PAL when they finally got it good. Like, oh,
they get rid of it.
We've had the worst map ever designed. We finally made it pretty good. Right, it's out of the map pool. See you later, guys.
My work here is done.
Well, we fixed it. Let's get it out of there. What's going on, man? I don't get what's going on.
But in reality, I think I would love if Riot just like said, right, we've got 10 maps. 10 maps is enough. Let's fucking scrap Icebox and Breeze, and we'll do the same maps, but Icebox 2.0 is coming out, and then Breeze 2.0 is coming out, and it's the same like. No, it's the same ideas, like a verticality or whatever, but it's a completely different map.
No, scrap the idea, delete the map, make a new one. I don't care how many times we have to do that, but let's make a new one until the maps get good, because the maps are bad.
I do hate it. I hate that fucking window too. You know what I hate more? I hate that mid B splits now are fucking impossible because the choke point is this big because you can only go the one way by that box, and it's fucking. Is this big?
Oh, Viper Molly. Hello, KJ Molly.
Yeah, it's over. It's like you just sit there and you
stuck
wait.
There.
Yeah.
Hopefully you saged walled yourself an escape or something, bro. Because like
you're getting fucked.
I'm really glad I asked the question. There we go. I'm done now. we can end the show.
Yeah, now
bring back Fracture.
Now we're allowed to. Yeah,
Fracture can come back in.
Where did that one go?
But also,
that one was
I
alright.
long for it.
Just make new maps. Make new
How many
maps
new
that
maps do
have
they
more
need to
than
make,
one
though?
step before you enter the site. Like, please.
Yeah, I don't like that. How you just spawn at a bomb site. you spawn and plant immediately is not really like the greatest way to do the thing.
The zipline rotators. That would fix it.
they could stop the plant, the 2-second plant at the beginning of the round. All right. Let's get out of here. Kurt. I'm waiting. This is me setting up the queue.
Holy shit.
Kurt, set up the queue. Hold on. All right. It's Wyatt's Weekly Award. We were talking about it earlier. It's everybody's favorite way to get hired, nepotism, and it's coming back for the award. Because honestly, I'm gonna give the award this week to our producer Kurt, because he's been making some very funny shorts that have been going up on Twitter and YouTube, and I would highly recommend checking them out. Kurt's years of watching little meme baby videos is paying off. Kurt being a little iPad baby watching memes all day has culminated in some of the greatest shorts you'll ever see of an esports podcast. So I would highly recommend you go check those out. But doing a great job with those. So there you go.
Thanks, Wyatt.
Nepotism. It's back. Nepotism is back on the menu. It was done 30 minutes into the show, but I'm bringing it back. And that's it. We will see you guys not next week. We'll actually see you tomorrow again. And we're talking about
Wyatt's gonna be fucking dead.
We're gonna Dude, I'm gonna get drunk tomorrow morning. What we talk about Apex, I swear to God.
I mean, what? It's Apeks. He
I'm
probably
getting
has set
wasted.
done, so you might as well just give.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be. Yeah, it's like, I mean, we have. If you want to hear APAC talk and you want to hear people talk about APAC, you're gonna be fucking busting a nut when you see the thumbnails. Who's on tomorrow? I swear to God. Like,
Just say who's on. Just say who's on.
No.
Do you remember?
The anticipation must build.
Okay. Good idea.
Yes, and I'm going to be wasted. It's going to be a great episode. We'll see you tomorrow morning for another one. And then we'll also see you next week once again. Goodbye, everybody. All right, TV, let's go hang out in the living room.
Yeah.